Well, I think these were in such high demand because the outdoor seating, everybody ordered them. That obviously they didn't weld as good as they did before.
True.
These are just coming apart.
I guess I just would have expected the production to increase to match the demand. That's how the economy's supposed to work, right?
Absolutely.
There's some good cold open content.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna fucking buy some better stools, Dion. Hello and welcome to the Week 2 edition of Heat Check. Folks, we are out here on a really excellent afternoon, Tuesday afternoon here on the Funhouse back deck. I hope this weather holds up for a good while. Man, pretty much it was a good week. I was listening to last year's Week 1 to try and remember what the hell I talked about. And last Week 1, like, everybody had a miserable time. Like, I don't even remember. Like, nobody's team won. Buka and I had just beaten the hell out of each other. It was a pretty rough landing that week. Not so this week, as the Eagles, of course, won their primetime game on Friday against the Packers in Brazil, in spite of, I don't even know, a field that looked like it had been freshly aerated by an invading medieval army. And let's see, who else? Oh yeah, the Dolphins won a game they probably shouldn't have for Buka. The Steelers, of course, won one of the Steelersiest games I've ever seen. And, the Niners, despite not having a Christian McCaffrey at the last minute, didn't seem to be slowed down in the slightest. But anyway, look at me jabbering on here, and I haven't even introduced the other people out here on the deck with me. Of course, we have returning champion Clayton. How you doing, brother?
I am doing good. Way better than those New York Giant uniforms you saw.
I didn't even see the uniforms. I couldn't get past the ghastly play of everyone involved, with the possible exception of Malik Neighbors. Next to him, back here as my intrepid co-host.
What's up, shitheads? It's me, your boy, the number one fuckboy! From Northampton County, $1,000 town, the Underfaker. Puppet master of the penis. Arby's, the plywood of meats. I'm the surge protector. Your bidet is plugged in. I got more women waiting in line than Raising Cane's. Brian Howells.
I like how you started and ended that with a Brothers of Destruction reference. And by the way, I loved you at WrestleMania 9. My bad. That was actually 1994 SummerSlam. Why don't we just get right into it and march down the week that was? I guess I'll refer to my phone, which of course puts my game right at the top. And why not start there, because my opponent is right here in the room with us. As the Fun World Order managed to, though not a game that was largely in question for a large chunk of the weekend, ultimately was able to salt the thing away on the very inspirational Lions final drive. Well, there, number one fuckboy, what are your thoughts?
I was sweating on Friday when Saquon got all those points.
Yeah.
I figured my team wasn't going to catch up.
Well, I mean, Lamar started very strong on Thursday, so that I was equally sweating.
There was some promise. I wasn't down and out completely, but wasn't looking good.
Yeah, it was pretty funny that I had Travis Kelce, you had Mark Andrews, and they both combined for like 9.5 points. Like, not what anybody expected.
I just thought of this, but did any tight ends go off this week?
I saw in the weekly report that the highest scoring starting tight end had 11 points. It was like whoever Rob had, I believe.
Oh, wait, what? It might have been Likely.
Likely as 26.
No, he wasn't starting.
Oh, he wasn't
Oh,
starting.
okay.
I was starting.
And that is a great segue for, I think, something you wanted to talk about, Clayton.
Yeah, so week one's obviously always hard because it's, you get the players you want, and you set the lineups basically based off of what they did last year and like what they're projected to do. And there's rookies come in, and you're not sure to start them. But I went through, and a couple of these benches outscored starting lineups. And I don't want to like put anybody out there because it is week 1 and stuff. But Dano, your bench put up 114 points, which was good enough to beat 10 starting lineups in our league this week.
10. Amazing. I feel like so much less of an asshole that my team actually won in spite of all that benchery. Clayton, I got you here having beaten Rob 129-112, which was the highest point scored in a loss. Sorry, Rob. How'd the game go for you?
I was nervous because I'm up, 17 points, and then the only player left to play is McCaffrey, and I said, McCaffrey's probably good for 20 points. He's going to just barely beat me out here in the third or the fourth quarter of Monday Night Football, and then about an hour before, the news came along that McCaffrey was scratched.
Yeah.
And that was literally the turning point. We were very equal. Rob has a very competitive playoff-like team. And that's really the only reason I beat Rob. I was preparing for a loss until that moment.
Yeah, true. And it's, I know that the news came down really late. I didn't even hear about it until after the game had started. But even had he replaced McCaffrey with one of his bench guys, it wouldn't have made a difference. Dion and Talk Birdie to me backed up his very, very Italian and heteronormative trash talk after the draft. Beating Lorenzo and Don Cherleone 111-83, an anemic 83, and I can immediately see what went wrong for him. He drafted Patrick Mahomes. Not real great for your for fantasy purposes. This guy will win you rings all day long. He will not win you fantasy titles unless you're Nick Baranowski 3 years ago.
Running backs really didn't pull through in week 1 either with Swift and Spears, and obviously Rondamore Stevenson went off on his bench, but yeah, his running backs really did not pull through for him.
Yeah, and Dion had a choice to make between his sweet boy Brock Purdy and known bad boy and newly blonde Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, who was disappointing in what was the most real-life disappointing game of the week and knocked a whole lot of people out of survivor pools as the inexplicable New England Patriots managed to beat the Bengals. 16-10 in what was the actual, I said it was the Steeleriest game I'd ever seen was the Steelers game. That was the second Steeleriest game. It was the Bengals-Patriots game that was the Steeleriest, actually. To the breadwinners, Delajuan posts the highest score of the league this week with 147 over Nick Baranowski, who was only able to put up 90.
Cooper Kupp is back. That's what my Rams friend said. Allen had a good game, and look at Jay Moody last night. 26 points for a kicker.
Woo! I think he tied Chris Boswell on the Steelers, who had 6 fucking field goals, including 3 50-yarders, and he had a punt.
Yeah. Well, that is a big reason also why the 49ers didn't win. Is I think they scored on 6 straight possessions, and they were just wearing down the defense, but they weren't blowing it up with the score just yet. They were just kicking a lot of field goals.
Yeah, we've seen that movie before.
And Richardson, quarterback Richardson for the Colts, had a stellar game on his bench. Wow. 27 on the bench.
Yeah, that's and yet still did not outscore his actual starter, Josh Allen. So, I don't know. Look at that. See what happens, Delajuan, when you actually, make your own draft picks?
You did a very good job, Delajuan. So far, your team looks stellar.
Magical. The Battle of the Soto's Barflies in Mark versus Miggs. I bet they just had a miserable time staring at their lineups while they watched the Raiders.
Tyreek Hill had a hell of a day. He got detained, released, and put up 26 points all in 4 hours.
I think that's some version of the Michael Jordan flu game. I meant to say the Michael Jordan my dad just died. These are all terrible examples. The Aaron Rodgers my dad just died game.
That was Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
Monday night.
The equivalent of that is I just got abused by Miami-Dade's finest, so I'm gonna light up the Jaguars.
I'll heat check Tyreek Hill in 2 years. As Xavier Worthy is going to be way better than you, bro.
Oh. Bam, 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 bam. You know what? That's a great segue, Clayton. I believe you had a little something prepared for us, right?
So this had nothing to do with Tyreek Hill. I found this July 16th, and I screenshotted it. And what it is it's most arrests by each NFL team since 2000 players. So what I'm going to do with Brian and Dano here is I'm going to give them a division, and they tell me who they think the team had the most arrests to. There's no prizes for this. This is all BS statistics. We'll start in the AFC East, where we have the Dolphins, the Bills, the Patriots, and the Jets.
I'm gonna go with the Bills.
Okay.
I feel Dolphinsy.
The Dolphins had 34 arrests since 2000. The Bills had 24 arrests.
Okay.
The Jets had 26, and the oh gosh, who was the other? The Patriots.
0.
They should be higher up there.
4 arrests, and they were all Bob Kraft.
All right, AFC North, we have the Bengals, Steelers, Browns, and Ravens.
This is actually probably close.
The Browns?
I think it's between the Bengals and Ravens, and I'll go Bengals.
All right, Dano, you are correct.
Hey!
The Bengals have had 51 arrests. They're third on this list.
34 alone by Adam Jones.
Followed by the Browns, who had 40, which is very high here on this list.
Does that include all of Deshaun Watson's?
All 26. The AFC South, that would be the Jaguars, Titans, Colts, and Texans.
Texans. Given that, the Texans did come into being in 2002, so I don't really think those tiers are going to make that much difference.
I'll go with the Colts.
Titans.
The Jaguars are actually tied with the Bengals for 41 arrests. They take that division. And Houston Texans have the least amount of any team with 17 arrests.
Wow, so even those 2 years, that's just
they're at the bottom.
And that's like the strip club capital of the country. Like how that doesn't make any sense to me.
Last division in the AFC, we have the West. That's the Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos.
I mean,
good luck.
Definitely up.
Come on.
Chiefs or Raiders? I'll go with the Chiefs.
I would go with Raiders. They got to be like scraping the record here.
No, the Chiefs are in the top there with 41 arrests as well.
Who am I not thinking about here?
Followed by the Chargers with 29, surprisingly. The Raiders had 28, so they're pretty close. And where are the Broncos? I'm searching for them. I couldn't find the Broncos because they're number 2 on the list. They win that division with 56 arrests.
The
Denver
Broncos?
Broncos, yep. They're second on this list.
Oh, remember that one dude who got drunk at a Halloween party and he went home to the wrong house? That was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That was like during COVID, I think. That's what tipped him. He got charged with like 4 things. I guess, but it's just individual arrests, so, still. Okay.
Trying out the NFC real quick here. We have the East. We have the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders.
It was actually tough. I'll say Giants.
Fuck it, let's go Eagles.
All right.
Sports. It's in the game.
You'll never hear this from me much, but the Cowboys win the division with this statistic. They have 30 arrests. They're in first.
Wow,
they had a lot of arrests back in the 90s, so before 2000, the Cowboys were in a lot of trouble.
All happened during the playoffs.
The Cowboys are followed by...
So that's not as many as like some of the other divisions' lowest arrest guy. That's a pretty clean division.
NFC North, that's the Vikings, Packers, Lions, and Bears.
I'll go with the Bears. Chicago's hard.
Yeah. These are all fucking Vikings.
Dano, the Vikings are number 1 on this list with 57 arrests.
How many charges came out of the sex boat?
I was going to bring up the sex boat. That happened in the 2000s, correct? And that's probably...
But I don't think anybody that turned in anything legal.
No, I think it was just...
It was just a PR disaster.
Yeah, it was. Let's see, they are followed by Green Bay with only 28, so they have way more arrests than that.
Like 30 more than the second.
I'm sorry, wait, the Bears are second with 35. Green Bay is third with 28, and the Lions only have 19. That might be coming up soon, though. The Lions are getting popular. So
yeah, that is a bit of a surprise, but I guess when they're just so disheartened, they don't have it in them for crimes. This is our favorite neighborhood bartender.
Up, gentlemen.
Derek, how are you, man?
Wonderful.
We wanted to ask you what your thoughts were about your matchup. You got the win in there, 104 over Buka with 97.
Yes, I believe that was the smallest margin of victory I saw.
That is the closest.
Yeah, I don't like that much, but
it's week 1 that we've been talking about. Like nobody really knows what the optimal settings are here.
Right, and I expect a lot more out of the Rams. I mean, Lions offense. I think that'll change, especially, and I hate to say it, the Lions are playing against a very beat up Tampa Bay secondary this week. They've lost 3 starters in the backfield. Their defensive backfield. So I could see Amon St. Brown, Laporta, and Goff having some fun.
Well, at least you'd be able to profit from one of those guys.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Laporta,
of course, famously your keeper, probably one of the best value keepers anybody had. Mm-hmm. And do you know who you got in the league this week?
This week.
I can.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah, let's see. Here we go. Oh, it's the number 1 fuckboy. Currently projected at 51.49, subject to changing lineups and waiver wires and whatnot.
Yes.
That's exciting. Well, I look forward to having more to talk about next week. Any words for your opponent now?
Well, I just beat him in the other league this week, so I get to back-to-back,
Well, I get another chance. And I'm ready.
What do you tell a fuckboy with 2 black eyes?
Nothing you can't already told him twice.
NFC North, or South, I'm sorry, yes, was the Falcons, Panthers, Saints, and Buccaneers.
Saints?
I'll go Falcons.
Okay, you're both wrong. That goes to the Buccaneers with 38.
Ow.
The Saints follow them with 34.
Wow, so we picked the perfectly wrong team.
Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Then we have the Carolina Panthers with 25 and the Falcons with 24.
Wow. Yep. Atlanta is like the second strip club capital of the world. Maybe there's something about that just like as long as you have enough strip clubs, like your natural you have an outlet for like the kind of instincts that lead to arrests.
Yeah.
Or the strip clubs are just really good at keeping that shit quiet and burying bodies and such.
And to wrap this up, we have the NFC West. That would be the Niners, Rams, Seahawks, and
Cardinals?
Cardinals, yes.
The Cardinals, that desert heat.
Yeah.
Okay, you're both wrong. That goes to the Seahawks with 35.
All right. You know what? None of these felt obvious to me.
No.
It goes to show how many players get arrested you never really hear about. Like ESPN will break one once. Like Tyreek Hill was big news because it's opening day. But yeah, you don't hear about a lot
Sure,
of these.
if it's like a practice squad dude or whatever, it might not even make the Chiron.
Yeah, exactly. In second place, we have the Niners with 30, the Cardinals with 29, and the Rams with only 18.
Wow.
And they've been moving cities since 2000.
That's true.
In 2000, they were where? In
St.
St.
Louis.
Louis. Yeah.
Yes, there's not even anything to commit a crime against in St. Louis. And then of course, like I guess it obviously now it makes sense that the Cardinals would be so low because Scottsdale is the third strip club capital of the.
It might be.
I think this feels like we might get a grant for a sociology study here.
Yeah, there we go.
The connection between the inverse relationship between strip clubs and crimes. Or I should say, strip clubs and reported crimes.
Well, we have a bit for next week. I'll start my research now.
Given that we'll be recording these things on Tuesdays mostly, waivers haven't yet cleared, so this week's moves aren't really known. So I guess if we want to talk about moves on future episodes, we would be all right. And so before the games last week, these are the moves, and here's how they played out. For this week, though, there weren't obviously too many because nobody really knows what's wrong with their draft. But there is one notable exception to that. Our dear friend Lorenzo kept Matt Gay and then had to drop him because he herniated himself and is out for the year. I don't think. I mean, obviously because of the sad personal circumstances that kept Lorenzo from being from the draft, and then Matt Gay gets lost. I mean, it's raining and pouring over there in Little Italy. But so that's a tough out. You see what I did there?
No, I see.
The other one is that Clay, you put Jamar Chase on the block.
Trade block. I need a tight end. I know that one of these could go off like insurance.
I am seriously considering just starting both my tight ends this week. But we'll see how that goes. If it doesn't look like a tenable strategy, we might have something to talk about.
All right. Well, like I said, I figure I'll put the twinkle in the ear now. So if someone's like, "Oh man, I need a wide receiver," they're automatically going, "Wait, Clayton put Jamar Chase up on the trade block." I might take him off if he gets 40 points this week, but
you got to watch
now,
this fucking Clay and his early season trades. I mean, DJ Moore, he got you there last year.
Yeah.
And he got someone else booted the fuck out of the league. Okay, let's do the previews. So shoot, yeah, we'll start off with me here. I got matchups against Don Cherleone looking to rebound from a lackluster week one. He of course had Puka Nacua among. What a fucking shit week for him, man.
Lorenzo, you have two players that are out. You could probably start using your two IR spots and helping you out there a little bit.
Oh, by the way, that was an oversight on my part. Something I meant to bring up at the owners' meeting was we don't need two IR slots anymore. COVID's over.
That's true.
But
do we have one? Or?
I think one. One would be fine. And because we didn't make this change before the league started, I'm like, fuck it, we'll ride with two IR slots this year. That's what people expected. Unfair to change it, especially without league consent. But that's definitely something that's going to get brought up next year.
I'm interested in your Caleb Williams. He's going against Stroud on Sunday night. That's going to be a good game to watch. You're going to see two good young quarterbacks go at it with some weapons. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think Caleb Williams definitely isn't. It has more in him than what he showed. First real game jitters and everything. All that said, he's going to be on my bench this week.
I was just going to say, Daniels, the critics said that Daniels is going to be a good quarterback. They were not lying. He had a hell of a week long.
And not least for that, but take a look at who Jaden Daniels gets to play against this week. The New York motherfucking Giants. If he doesn't put up 40 points, I'm going to be disappointed. All right, let's move on to you, Clayton. All right, you got Delajuan and the breadwinners.
Two highest scores in the league in week one go against each other. I am streaming my defense, so my percentage will go up, but Delajuan's going to be favored in this game. I'm going to have to have some luck here to beat him.
Yeah. You got any... you had Worthy on your bench last week. You think you're going to bump him up to starter this week?
I don't think so with Cincinnati.
It's true. I don't really see a lot of opportunities for him to break in yet.
Unless Chase does, sit out this week. Xavier's going to grab my bench for a couple more weeks, most likely.
Buka and Dion.
Buka and Dion. Yeah, looks like they're locked up pretty tight here. I see possibly a bounce back game for Burrow. I don't know though. Do I? Why the hell is KC like green? Like that's a good matchup. Like I don't. That doesn't seem to make any sense to me.
Yeah, I know.
Their defense was actually like handling the Ravens on Thursday pretty well.
I think Ibuka's #1 point scorer this year might be Pacheco. Pacheco looks like he really developed and came around, and he looks to be a premier back in the league this year.
Yeah.
It's a nice pickup.
Well,
Buka could start Baker Mayfield if he wanted to.
Yes, you could. That's a dome game.
all that fucking talking during the draft, I thought Derek had him.
I wanted him. He won. I won the league with him last year.
Rob and Miggs, another battle of the Soto's division.
Slapaho's gonna slap a Miggs this week.
Now, it's worth pointing out here, though, that I believe I heard today that Christian McCaffrey is not expected to play this week either. And he is, although it says he's out, he is still, his projected points are still in there.
Great. Sorry, go ahead.
But just to say that he's his actual projection at this point is more like 102. Still better than Miggs' projected 89, but he's also got Jordan Love in there.
Well,
That's
great
right.
segue. Look who his backup quarterback is.
Oh. Well, you know what? You might as well leave Jordan Love in there, dude. Uncle Nick Baranowski up against Mark and Foreskin Fungus. Right now projected very close, 51-49 in favor of Mark. And I don't believe either of them have any kind of injuries to address.
T. Higgins is out, it says. Njoku's questionable. I did see that for Mark. But Mark has a bench. He's got some... Dobbins had a great first game with the Chargers.
Yeah.
So he can make some moves and filter them in. Nick's team is so interesting.
Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill had, like, in their absolute beatdown of the Carolina Panthers, the Saints were just having lots of fun with Taysom Hill. He lined up at every single position. They did a couple quarterback snaps. They had him in there as a fullback, like just, lining up about 15 yards back, taking a handoff up the gut. And at one point, he caught a pass that traveled like 15 air yards.
He sounds like a #1 fuckboy. Loves a lot of positions.
Last but not least, we heard a little bit from Derek earlier, but #1 fuckboy. How do you feel about your matchup with favorite neighborhood bartender coming up?
I had a lot of underperformance by Cook in Buffalo and Drake London, Atlanta. McCockney did pretty good for the Chargers, and they're facing Carolina, so that might be stick him in as wide receiver instead of Drake London, possibly.
You're already using your IR spots,
Oh yeah,
I see.
might as well fill that spot.
It was a really exciting roller coaster for week 1, and looks like we're in for more of the same in week 2. Is there anything anybody like to chip in here before we get out?
No, I can't think of anything. Just kind of skating through week 1 and trying to...
Fair enough. Well, as goes out to the league in general, looks like we're going to be here most Tuesday afternoons. So if your schedule allows, please come out and tell the #1 fuckboy what he's already been told twice. All right. Thanks so much. Good luck in the games. We'll see you next week.